Welcome to Fitbody Lifestyle, the show where we dive deep into the world of fitness, health, business, relationships, and the art of living a balanced life. I'm Jamie.
And I'm Greg, and we're here to give you the benefit of our experiences in the fitness and bodybuilding industry, the corporate world, running a business, personal development, and building healthy relationships.
Whether you're sweating it out in the gym, hustling in your business, or seeking balance in your everyday life, you're in the right place.
So lace up those sneakers and grab that water bottle, and let's get ready to transform our minds, our bodies, and our lives. Good day, Fitbody Lifers, and welcome to another Fitbody Lifestyle episode. And we have, well, first of all, I'm here with my beautiful wife, Miss Jamie D, Mama Bear, and we are honored and blessed. Go ahead and say it.
I said, it's me.
And we are honored and blessed to welcome Coach Kerryne Henich here, IFBB Bikini Pro, Masters Olympian, and Masters Olympian. So, there's a lot to go. Mom, all around good person, dog mom.
How many hats can I wear?
Yeah,
Amazing
you got
friend.
a lot of them.
Yes,
Just amazing human being. And today we're going to talk about a little bit part of her journey from our first episode, but how that journey really contributes to the theme here today, which is enhancing the athlete experience through mindset, which is kind of something that, well, not kind of, it is something that Kerryne is very passionate about. So,
and if you want to know more about her background, make sure you watch our first episode with her, which is meeting Coach Kerryne.
And we'll probably cross a little bit into those things today, but Kerryne, give us a little thumbnail resume.
Wait, you forgot something.
Oh, I did.
Oh,
What's your check-in word?
I'm excited.
All right.
Well, we're excited to have you.
Thanks.
Okay, now you can ask.
Well, you go ahead.
Okay, so just give a little bit of an introduction and bit of background for our listeners.
For like the topic?
Yeah. So for the people that don't know you, just give a little bit of background.
Okay. So my name's Kerryne Henich. I'm an Olympian, Masters Olympian, mom, wife, lots of kids. I mean, we got 5 kids together. I started competing 16 years ago, so I feel like I'm an old timer. But,
like I always like to say, back in my day.
The vintage competitors. That's us. But yeah, I'm really passionate about the sport. It's done a lot for me. So I guess that's a brief.
Yeah. So, I mean, and we wanted to talk of the topic today because as you and I were talking, like how much that mental aspect is going to affect both your experience, your enjoyment, as well as your results at the end of the day. So, I mean, I feel like there's so much to delve in on this topic. And so why do you feel like, for you, the mental aspect has been so important?
Honestly, I talked about this a little bit before, but I didn't have like the best upbringing to where I was like confident in anything I did. It was just kind of like, we just were there and, we weren't going to amount to anything. We weren't going to be good at anything. And so I kind of just had that mindset, like, I'm average, I'm below average, whatever. I'm not going to try to push myself or go to the next level because what's the point? And so when that all changed for me, I had to like really reframe my thoughts and I had to learn to love myself. And that's a long process. But when you start doing that, it's like good things start coming into your life. Like I never would have imagined I would even compete first off, but to go to Olympia, Masters Olympia, to be a coach, like I get goosebumps because it's not something I ever even like would have thought I could achieve. And so it's just having that confidence in yourself. But when you're talking negative, actually I saw this video, I should send it to you. It's these 2 ladies, they're talking, she invites this lady into her house, they're just talking about how hard she's on herself. She's like, well, my house is a mess. It's not good enough. I can't cook. I can't do this. I'm just stupid. I'm fat. I'm ugly. All these things. And she pulls out a picture of her as a child and says, would you tell that to this little girl?
Wow.
And it made me bawl because it's true. Like you wouldn't talk to a kid like that. I wouldn't tell my younger self any of those things, but I was telling myself those things every day. And I see my clients doing it all the time. Like reframe your thoughts. Don't be negative. Stop saying mean things about yourself. I'm so guilty of doing it at times. We all are. But ultimately, like, you have to talk to yourself the way you would, your friend or, your mom, your dad, your brothers, your sisters. Like you would never speak to them that way. So why do you do it to yourself?
That's beautiful. And I got chills when you said it. And it really made me remember a point I had gotten to where I kept telling and like you said, we all do it to ourselves. I had kept this reoccurring thing in my mind. It was because I didn't start competing till I was, late 30s, early 40s. So it's kind of constantly going through this, oh, I'm too old for this. Like, my time's up. Like there was just these thoughts that kept circling around in my head. And someone told me something similar, like, would you say this to your child, or would you say this to yourself as a child? And it really hit me, and I started paying attention to those thoughts and, countering them in my mind, or just, noticing them and kind of letting them go a little bit.
Sitting with them.
Yeah, it's just, it's so interesting though, how we can hold ourselves back that way.
And we do it every day. So many, even still, like, I'm sure I hold myself back on a lot of things that I should or could do or would like to do, but, we just do it. It's almost like a natural instinct. And I think a lot of us are built that way. But once you start changing those thoughts, and I'm by no means perfect. The last few years have been really difficult for me. And
there's
mentally,
no such thing as perfect in this.
You're right. There's no such thing as perfect, but I know I could do better. But
always things to work on.
Yeah, always. Even like top athletes, there's something more to work on. But I've had to really, really dive into my mental health the last 2 years, and like reframe how I think about myself as a mom, as a wife, like all the things. I don't want to cry, but
I do. I want you to cry.
It's been like quite a journey, and focusing on my mental health has just changed a lot of things about how I think. Like I've had to, one, accept the situations as they are, and then I had a lot of health issues, I think probably because of it. But, it's so powerful, our mind, so powerful.
When you said you had to learn to love yourself, and I do think that is something that people don't spend enough time with, and it's so easy. When we talk about the airplane metaphor of, on an airplane, when you get on, they tell you fix your mask before you fix that of your child. And it's funny, we have this debate of, especially among parents, is would you really do that, or would you do your child? And they're saying, well, no, I do my child, definitely. And it's like, okay, so you want to leave your child as an orphan because you took the time to fix their mask before you did your own, where you might be able to save both of you. And it's that one thing of just, it's hard to prioritize ourselves. Hard. Well, and let me own my own noise here. It's hard for me to prioritize myself.
Yeah, I think it's hard for a lot of people. And I think like when you kind of hit rock bottom with whatever situation it is, you have no choice but to go up or down, and you can't go any further down. So it's almost like, well, I got to start building myself up. And I didn't have those skills. I had to like get some help with it. But once I did, and I started realizing that like, I don't know if I'm the problem or the reason why all this is happening in my life. I don't think it's my fault anymore. And you change that perspective to, it might be happening to me, but I don't have to live with it. I can walk away. I can find happiness. I'm not stuck. I think that's, a lot of us feel stuck in whatever.
So talk about those skills that you had to develop.
I had to learn that I couldn't control other people, which I think is something that was really hard for me. And I couldn't control any situation that was going on around me. I could control myself, how I dealt with it, how I reacted to it, and how I responded to it, and if I wanted to accept it. So I didn't have to take acceptance for everything that was going on because it wasn't my fault. But I was blaming myself for everything. Anything. It didn't matter what it was my fault. And as soon as
So you're responsible for COVID? Is that what you're telling? Okay.
But no, like once you take that kind of off your shoulders, it was literally like a weight coming off me. I didn't feel like I had to know where people were all the time, or what they were doing, or if they were going to hurt me, or if they were going to do something behind my back. Like it didn't matter anymore. I just didn't care. And then it kind of taught me to like, just be happy with me. And if everything fell apart because of it, then it's meant to be. And I was going to be okay. So
that's beautiful. Like the acceptance of what we can't control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hard.
It's so hard.
So hard. Yeah. But it's a game changer for sure. Like you can't control anybody else but yourself. So.
It's liberating in a lot of ways. And I think that's the interesting part. It's like kind of that jail of, of our own mind, of blaming ourselves for things. And I know we all do it. And it's, getting the tools to then, how did you start to bridge that gap to get the tools then to like start to accept those things and move forward?
It was honestly therapy. Like I was just in a lot of therapy. Not just because of my own, like just situations that I was in, and like with my partner at that time, like we were just dealing with a lot. And I just learned like, we'd write letters to ourselves in this therapy. We'd write letters to our partner. And when I was listening to their letters to me, I was like, gosh, this sounds so like I don't know, not unemotional or like detached. And mine were like, why don't you love me? Why am I not good enough? And it's like, but I am good enough. Why do I care what this person thinks of me? Like, I am good enough and I deserve better. And I think when you start hearing it that way, like live and from their mouths, it's like, wow, what am I doing here? You just learn to just, I don't know, love yourself. I had to. No one else is going to love me.
I had a team member that I was coaching at, not here with Fitbody, but through another job. And we were going through some self-worth issues. And I explained to her that one of the things that our daughter had done that was so impressive to me is that she wrote "I am enough" on her mirror in the morning, so that every morning she would get up and she would look at that, and that was her daily affirmation. And man, I will tell you, if you're listening to this or watching this and you don't understand the power that comes from "I am enough," those 3 words, this person that I was coaching, she could not even say it. She could not even write it. I had to write it for her because she was so trapped in that negative feedback loop of I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not enough. Yeah. And that simple thing, it sounds like such a simple thing to say. And I we haven't put out a challenge in a while. So I think the challenge I'm going to put out to everybody that's watching or listening is this. If you're listening to this right now, if you're on the treadmill, because I know a lot of people like doing this in cardio, okay, then you may not be able to do this. But once you get off, do it safely. Go to a mirror or hold up your phone and put it on the selfie mode and put it in the video and just look at yourself in the eyes and tell yourself, I am enough. And I would love to have a poll of how many people actually, 1, do it, but 2, can do it, and 3, people that are just like, wow, this is harder than what I thought, because it's just it seems like such a simple thing, and it's not.
It's not. I think a lot of it too is like you almost feel like, I don't know, like what's the word I'm trying to think of? Like you only care about yourself when you say things like that.
Yes.
Like you're just
trying
selfish. Selfish or like self-absorbed, self-centered,
narcissistic, whatever you want to.
Narcissistic, that's what I was thinking of. And it's hard to do that when you're looking at yourself, but you look at your kid and be like, you're perfect. I love you just the way you are. Don't change. You'd never say that to yourself. And I think we need to start saying those things to ourselves more than, we need to say it to other people too. But if we don't love ourselves, we will never love fully anybody else, ever. We'll never be fully happy or fully satisfied in life. So
that's a beautiful sentiment. We did an exercise through the leadership training where we had an opportunity to kind of walk with our younger selves, kind of walking through this process. And I remember, that hugging my little self, in this meditation kind of, and just bawling my eyes out, and it's just amazing, realizing how much we need compassion for ourselves. And if we're not going to be compassionate and love ourselves and accept ourselves for all of our strengths and all of our weaknesses and our flaws and all those things, then life is going to be miserable.
It really is. And it's so easy to do that with other people, but why is it so hard to turn that to ourselves and just, it's going to be okay. Just tell yourself it's going to be okay. Like everything happens for a reason, every single thing.
And I think we've had this discussion before, but maybe we haven't. Is that I am not a subscriber to everything happens for a reason.
Are you not?
No, I'm not. And I'm not critical of it.
I want to hear it.
And I'm not critical of it. I'm
you have a different way that you frame it. It's just a different perspective,
and this is part of the reframing aspect because this is what works for me. Yeah. And part of it is because I don't want to believe that there is some higher power up there pulling strings on me like a puppet.
I'm going to zap them with a lightning bolt.
That life comes up and lifes me, right? And that's just for me, my comfort zone is not believing that. What I do believe is that you can make reason out of what happens. Yeah. And you may not understand it at that moment when something is happening, especially if it's something adverse to you. And yet, through time and acceptance and self-love, you can figure out how that plays a role in your growth and development. It's just reversing it a little bit in the sense of I don't believe that something or someone or a power is initiating that. Yeah. I believe that things happen and life is so random, and our job as humans is to figure out, how do I put context on this? How do I make this work for me while still allowing myself, and this is the part that I think a lot of people skip over, is you got to allow yourself the opportunity to feel what you're going to feel. Because, and I think you talked about this in the first episode, is if you just bury that stuff down, you're just creating trauma, you're just layering trauma on top of trauma on top of trauma instead, or feelings or whatever they are, whatever it is, you're just layering it on top of each other. You're never processing it. You're never allowing yourself, you're never giving yourself permission to love yourself, because if you gave yourself permission to love yourself, you would say, yeah, I feel this way and it sucks. Now, what am I going to do?
Yeah. I like that, because I don't really feel like there's a higher power making things happen either. But I do feel like, everyone's got their own journey, and they're going to choose a different path. They might choose there's no right or wrong, but they might choose the path this way, and it's going to affect you a different way than if they chose it this way. And so you have to deal with those effects, like how it's making you feel, instead of just, like shutting down.
Well, and you said it before when you said one of the skills that you were dealing with is learning what you could control and what you couldn't. Mm-hmm. And what you can control is your response to things. Yeah. And I think that is your response to things, how you reframe things, whether you allow yourself to feel things. Mm-hmm. These are all things that are within your ability to control. And that's the skill set I think you were talking about.
Yeah, and I think that's where the lessons are learned. Because how you respond is going to change the reaction of whatever's going on too.
That's right.
So yeah, it really is ultimately up to us. It's a lot of power. Like if you think about how much power we have over ourselves and others around us, just from the way we respond or behave.
Yeah.
And we pull out one other nugget out of this, because this is good, is that, because I want to go back to that. If you're talking to yourself, and I guess this is the other challenge maybe I'll put out to people, is that if you're talking to yourself, and I love the thing of holding up the child of yourself, but the other way that we've always thought about it too is, would you tell what you're saying to yourself to a friend that you care about? Yeah. And if you're not willing to say what you're saying to yourself to a friend that you care about, then why are you saying it to yourself? And that's kind of the criteria that, and you're good at holding me accountable to this, because sometimes I say some really negative things about myself, and you are holding, and usually you snap out of it by just telling me, would you talk to me that way? And the answer is always no, absolutely not. I would never do that. And then you say, why are you talking to yourself that way?
Yeah, I think that's hard. I have the same issue, but I think coming from what I've experienced, it's hard to understand why people would talk to other people that way. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say, but it's hard for me to understand that side of it, because I would never do it, even though it happened to me.
Right.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense.
It's just such a weird thing that there are people out there that will be just horrible to children, to whatever. It just blows our mind. Yeah. Because why? What's the point of that?
Yeah, there are those people that are toxic, and I do think that is part of that journey in becoming the most healthy we can from an emotional standpoint. Is sometimes it's creating eliminating some of those people, or at least creating some boundaries and things like that, which is I think what you're talking about.
Yeah, I've definitely had to create boundaries with a lot of people in my life, and cut people out that I felt were too toxic for me to even deal with, especially in certain situations. And so I think that's healthy. We have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody wants to sit in that.
Yeah. We were actually talking about this last night, having you guys here, visiting, and just when you have those people around you that uplift you and that bring you joy and that make you feel accepted and loved, then anything's possible. Mm-hmm. So, but it absolutely does. I think that it's important that we talk about it. It starts with loving ourselves, because if we don't do that, then we can't even see it in other people to help then start attracting and bringing those people into our lives that are going to help.
I agree.
I mean, I see your relationship with Anne and with, other people, and just the kind of friend and care, the caring person that you are, and the people that you draw to you. It speaks volumes to the work that you've done, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm not, I don't want to say selective, but I'm careful with who I let in, just because I am so guarded. I've had to deal with a lot of stuff, but when I find that person, I don't ever want to let them go.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
That's really sweet.
Yeah.
I don't need a lot of friends. I just need a few good ones.
And that is you should not measure your success. I do think measuring your success by the quality of your friendships is more important than the quantity of your friendships, right? And you know, there's this, I love movies, and there's an old movie called Cousins with Ted Danson and Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio. I think that's her name. She was the Clinique model. But they play cousins by marriage or by marriage only, and they're having an affair, and Ted Danson's character is very interesting because he's played this kind of life of, he was a stockbroker, and now he's done all these other jobs, but his current job is he's an Arthur Murray dance instructor for elderly people. It's so sweet. I mean, he lives in some loft and drives a motorcycle with a sidecar, but there's this scene where he's at his uncle's wedding, and his uncle is in a hammock, and he's talking to his love interest, and he's talking about Ted Danson's character. His name is Larry, and he says, Larry is a failure at everything but life.
Oh, wow.
And God, man, it gets me super emotional talking about that, because it reminds me of my father. And my father was not a failure at anything, but my father was the biggest champion of life, because he just lived life like it was so precious every day. Like every moment meant something to him. And I think about that as being true self-love.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that.
Wow, I need some tissue.
We call his dad the Zen master. It's like he never met a stranger. Like every moment we had with him was really special, and it is a lesson for sure. And I know it's something you strive to do and do.
I can see that from
bring
you.
to our lives and to our journey. So
that's why we call you Papa Bear.
Thank you for that. That's maybe the biggest compliment you could, to compare me to my father is the biggest compliment you could ever give me. So yeah, let's before we all start balling here. So Kerryne, talk about this. Talk about you and your coaching style and your coaching process. Maybe go with this. Talk about the process from the setup through the execution. How are you setting a client up for success through mindset?
I think a lot of people underestimate what our minds are capable of. And for me, like, I try to implement things with my clients together that we can all support each other, because I think it was in 2022, a lot of the feedback I was getting was how lonely my clients felt all the time, just lonely. They don't feel supported at home, or they don't have a partner that understands. And so in 2023, I started groups in the app that we use, where I would, if they wanted to, I always ask their permission, do you want to join this group? I would put them all together in a group where they can now share recipes, ask for advice, ask about pre-workouts or whatever, support each other. When someone's competing, I announce it in there, and they support each other. And it's just such a beautiful way for everyone to become friends we don't live by each other, but without having to be in the same area. And so it's still going strong. Like, I still go in there and I read their messages and I tear up because they're so sweet and so supportive. And like, that takes pressure off of me to feel like I have to be that only shoulder for every one of them. And now we have a lot of people, like, I can go to them with stuff. I can go ask questions in there, ask for support, which has been nice. And then I started a book club this year because I felt like I need to have more self-help type books, just mindset books. I don't read because I fall asleep, but I will listen to them. It's true.
Hey, listening works too.
Yeah, so I listen to audiobooks, but we've done a few. We've done, right now we're reading the Let Them Theory.
The which one theory?
The Let Them Theory.
Okay.
It's really good. But yeah, it's been fun. So every month we do a Google Meets. We talk about what our takeaways, share thoughts, suggestions, or whatever, recommendations for like what they can do in certain situations. But it has been amazing. Not only for me, but I think for everyone, because I see them using tools that we're learning from the books in their check-ins. We did the 1% more.
Well, this is Mel Robbins' book.
Yeah, Mel Robbins. Yeah, it's good. It's really, really good. But yeah, so I've just seen that kind of change, like the way they talk, even through check-ins, how they'll shift from like, I didn't get this done to, I had a really good week. I got, the things I did get done, I got done really good. I had some great workouts, whatever. It's not about perfection. It's just about being consistent.
That's really cool. I didn't even realize you were doing that. I think that's so cool.
It's been really fun. It's been helpful for me too, because I feel like we all need that connection.
Yes.
And that's why I love this team. Like, I feel like we have so many things that keep everyone connected and, reaching out to each other, or like having those friendships build. Yeah. But in this way, I feel like, it's just my girls, but like they're connecting in a different way. They're all friends on Facebook or Instagram. And like I'll hear them mention other people and they're like as if they hung out the week before and they didn't. And then some of us did. Like we got together in Park City this year, a few of us, and from all over just had a little girls' weekend. It's just been really nice to have that support and love from each other.
Yeah, when that was really why I had the vision of, originally with the team, because I realized through competing, even though it is not a quote unquote team sport from a perspective of how you're competing, it's an individual, really me against me, me being the best version of me. At the same time, like we need that connection. And I know that like when I look back at my competitive career, the thing that means the most to me is the relationships, a lot of which I still have till today. Like people, we may not talk every day or even every month, but when I see them, it's like no time has passed. Or, if they reach out on social media or send a text and like that is just to me one of the most special things if you take advantage of it that you can get out of being part of the competitive world.
I agree. I think it's beautiful. Like, yes, it's not a team sport, but in a sense it is, because it takes a village to like keep you strong. Like you're going to have bad days. You're going to have days where you're like, I can't do this. What am I doing? But then you go and you talk to a friend who understands it and they kind of hype you back up. And I think just having that person that you can turn to or people you can turn to is so helpful.
Right.
I mean, I love the team for that reason too, because I didn't have that. I didn't ever feel team camaraderie before until here. And it's like a game changer for me too. I don't always, like share my issues with everyone, but like just knowing that I could if I needed to. And, I have that support and I don't feel like I'll be judged is huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't feel like we're competing against each other. It's like we're supporting each other. We want everyone to win.
Mm-hmm. And we all bring different strengths. And that's what's really fun too, is that we can lean on each other. If one of us has a challenge, with a client, we can lean on somebody who might have some more experience in that area. And so I know from, everything from our coaches chats and then also, our calls together, whether we're just listening in or sharing our own experiences or listening to other people's experiences, it's that feeling of like, we're not alone.
Yeah.
We have similar struggles, yes, we have different experiences and different perspectives that we can offer each other. And at the same time, sometimes it's just knowing somebody's just there to listen. And
I love it. It's so great. I love our group chats. I love being able to like, just go read and be able to relate to certain things and be like, oh, I could totally use that tool. That's a great idea. Or ask questions and get some different perspectives of like what we could do, problem solving. So it's awesome.
Yeah, I love that you got creative with your athletes and found a way to help bring them together too, because I do know that, while bodybuilding has become a little bit more mainstream and more people do understand than when you and I first started. And people are like, you're doing what?
What is that? You're going to be like in a Speedo? Like they don't understand the difference. Yeah. It's like, no.
It's cool that it's to a point where I feel like there's hardly anybody that doesn't know anybody that's ever competed. Yeah. So it's not as foreign as it used to be.
Yes.
And yet, there are, it is still foreign to a lot of people. So, when you have friends, family, and you're wanting to compete, sometimes it's hard because they can't relate, or they think what you're doing sounds ludicrous. Like, why can't you have French fries? Why can't you?
Yeah.
Well, I can, but it's not.
Choosing not to.
Right.
Yeah. It's a choice.
Yeah.
We make that choice. I mean, I don't have a lot of support.
Why do I not want onions on my burrito at the taco store?
Because he wants to give Jamie a kiss.
Yeah. That's right.
That's exactly why.
That's a good reason.
I know. I mean, I don't know. My family doesn't really ever understand. Like, my parents don't have any clue like what I do. They have no idea. And most of my siblings don't. A couple of them do, and they're very supportive, but I don't feel like I need their support to be successful. Like I'm successful because I'm putting in the work and I'm doing the things. And I may not have everyone's support, but I love what I do. And people judge. I've been told all kinds of nasty things. I mean, I live in Utah, so I've heard a lot of things.
I can imagine.
It's because of you, because of women like you. My husband's a porn addict. I mean, I have heard
God.
it all.
Oh, wow.
Really?
And so I mean, it's upsetting to hear that stuff, but I know it's not true. It's insecurities that people have.
It's because your husband is important.
Exactly.
There's no real mystery here. Anyway.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've heard a lot of negative things as to like why I do what I do and what the sport is. But when people understand like your journey and why you do what you do and what brought you to it, like it can be pretty awesome if they can just listen and understand. It's not about getting on stage in a bikini. It's not about being looked at. It has nothing. I don't like to be looked at. It has nothing to do with that. I achieved that. I did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. I think body image plays such a big role for people as well. I'm sure you have this with your clients. I know it's sometimes, you get a check-in and it's like, and this person's just beating themselves up and you're like, you look amazing. I remember there were times, because I've had body image issues and I still do sometimes, but I remember so many times I've taken pictures and I'm like, oh, I hate it. I look horrible. And then months later I go back, I was like, what? It's just great. Yeah. Our mind's just playing tricks on us. So what kind of advice do you give athletes when you see them, spiraling or beating themselves up, or, their relationship with their body being, something that isn't positive?
Yeah, I think it's what I've had to tell myself too, because I can get that way. I don't like seeing the scale go up, but I understand the reason why. You're an athlete 365 days a year. You don't get to choose a season. You're not just an athlete. When you're in prep, the most important work is done off season or improvement season. And so you have to have that athletic mindset. I'm an athlete. I can do this. I'm strong. I'm powerful. And whatever happens, yes, you're going to gain some weight. You're going to soften up a little bit. You're not going to be as hard, but that is not maintainable year round. Nobody can stay shredded like that or as lean as they are on stage 24/7.
And nor should they, right?
Nor should they. It's not healthy. Yeah. So I think it's just, putting into perspective, what do you want? What is your goal? Do you want to go pro? Do you want to do this? Well, in order to do that, you've got to do X, Y, and Z.
And today is not show day.
Today is not show day.
That is something that I have to constantly remind people of is, well, I'm not lean. Well, you're not supposed to be lean today. Yeah. You're not supposed to be stage ready today.
Well,
so
the other thing too that I get a lot is if I pick a show, I'll be more committed. No.
Yeah.
That's like a red flag to me, because you shouldn't have to have a date to keep you motivated. I'm not motivated by anyone but myself. I'm not always motivated, but I'm the only person that can make myself do something. Jamie can't motivate. I mean, you can try to lift me up and encourage me, but ultimately motivation comes from within. So I've always told my clients that I'm an athlete all the time. Even when I was sick all last year and I couldn't do anything, I still had that in my mind. I'm an athlete. I'm going to be fine. I can't do it now. I can't do what I want to do now, but I'm going to be okay. Mm-hmm. And
I think athletes tell themselves that they need that show out there because that's just what they've done. That's what they've always done.
Well, it's you have this something to work towards. It gives you that straight line to, a result, where, the improvement season's kind of unknown. When can I get on stage? When will I be ready? When will I have enough muscle? And that can vary. So I think they just like having that straight shot, but
focusing on the journey.
Yeah, the journey is the important part.
Yeah.
Because that's where everything is happening. You have clients, I'm sure you do too, that kind of disappear for a while and then they come back and they're not in a great place and they want to start a prep and you're like, well,
we just missed out on our opportunity.
That ship has sailed. So I think it's just important to remember that you're an athlete all the time. It doesn't turn off and on just because you're not on stage.
Interested in changing your life or stepping on stage? Join Fitbody Fusion today.
Experience the Fitbody Fusion difference with tools, knowledge, and community support to reach your healthy and sustainable lifestyle.
We guide thousands on their fitness journeys, from seasoned athletes to those who are simply seeking a healthier life.
Our expert coaches provide personalized plans and unwavering support, empowering you to thrive.
Fitbody Fusion is more than just training. It's a community. We understand the challenges of solo fitness journeys, which is why we foster a supportive environment where members encourage and motivate each other.
Join the Fitbody Fusion community today and unlock your full potential.
Head to fitbodyfusion.com to sign up for a free consultation.
And do it today.
Yeah. I think the other thing I see people struggle a lot with, and I'm curious, how you handle this is, not everybody can win every show, right? We've been there.
Yep.
There's highs, there's lows. How do you help people mentally deal with, first of all, let's start with going into a show, prepare for whatever may come.
Mm-hmm. And that's the hardest one probably to get into people's minds because, I hear all the time, I don't want to do a show unless I can win. We don't know who's going to show up. I have no clue what that is going to look like for you, what your class is going to look like. I cannot guarantee you a win, but I can guarantee that when you get on stage, you're going to feel really proud of yourself. And I always tell my girls, if you want to be you have to be a good loser before you'll be a good winner. Because if you can't be happy with your results when you lose, and you think you only are going to be happy if you win, you're setting yourself up for huge failure. Because once you're a pro, you're going to lose a hell of a lot more than you're ever going to win. And it can be pretty pretty hard to take sometimes, but get used to it. Like, get used to being okay with losing because you're still a winner. I mean, you just have to, every show is like to improve. The goal is to improve from the last time. And that's something that I really had to work on because I can take criticism. I can take the judges telling me, this is what's wrong with me because I feel like that's what I've been dealt with my whole life. So it doesn't really hurt me that way. But I think what's hard is that you put in so much work and you don't get the outcome that you want. So take that out of your head. There's no outcome. Don't expect anything. Just have fun. Enjoy the process. Focus on getting improvements, getting feedback, and then going from there.
Process over outcome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we talk about that all the time is that fall in love with the process. And the outcome may not be what you wanted, and it may be something better.
Yeah.
So you may not get the outcome at that show, but that may propel you to the outcome at a different show or may propel you to something else. And you don't even know what that's going to be. So focus on the process and being the best you can be.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, because this is a subjective sport, I mean, winning is an interesting concept in and of itself because what is winning? The judges selected you on this day on that stage in this light against everybody else. And if you're in a lineup of 10 athletes and you go to the next show and those 10 athletes, 5 of them come back, but there's 4 other new ones in you, it's going to be a different lineup and it's going to be a different result because
it's the exact same people.
That's right. That's true.
And
because they come in different condition. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've done 2 shows like a week apart, and the first one, my feedback was my shoulders need to be bigger. I need to be bigger. The next one, I was they were way too big. I need to bring everything down. And so that's a perfect example. Like you just don't know until you get there and see who you're standing next to. And that changes everything. And guess what? They worked hard too, and they deserved it.
Yeah.
So you have to just kind of, fix each other's crowns. Just be a good person and support them, congratulate them. Don't walk off stage for sport and cry. Like, that's one thing I don't tolerate very well. Like, you can cry, you can have your feelings, but not right now. Hold them in for just a minute. Let's get out of here.
Well, and part of that's being a pro, right?
Yeah.
If you want to be a pro, then act like a pro.
Yeah.
And part of being a professional is that you take the hits the same way that you take the victories. And the funny thing we talk about is winning is easy. And at the end of the day, I mean, I'm not saying the journey to winning is easy, but what you have to do when you win, there's nothing. Hey, I get to bask in this moment. I get to enjoy it. I get to soak it up.
I'm the winner.
I'm the winner.
Yeah.
The hard part and the real test of a champion in my mind is what you do if you don't.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with that 100%. I think that's where champions are made.
Right.
Is to win the times when they're not winning.
And that's where we grow.
Yeah.
Really we grow the most when things are hard. And I mean, I as hard as I had to work to turn pro, I mean, national show after national show after national show for years, I get to look back on that and go, that's really why I grew and how I grew and how I really grew to love the sport too. And, so it's interesting that sometimes when you're in it, and you're like, I'm so close, but I'm not there. And I keep getting this feedback, if we can let it sink in and not let it deter us, then we get better.
I mean, I love competing. I really do. Taking time off is the hardest thing for me ever. But when I was in national circuit trying to get my pro card, I was last call outs, second place, last call out to win. It was that's how drastic it was. And I never let it get me down because in every time I'm getting stage presence practice, I'm getting in front of those judges, they're knowing who I am, I'm asking for feedback, I'm improving my posing. That's all that mattered to me was I'm just gonna keep showing up better and better and better. And someday it's gonna happen. I don't know when, it might take years, but it'll happen. And I think I loved competing so much. I loved being on the stage with other girls, meeting the women. There's so many incredible people with awesome stories. And that's what I've always just loved so much about it.
That makes a huge difference. I really feel like that makes all the difference in the world because I remember, being backstage, in different times, in that process and, getting to connect with different athletes and finding out what we had in common and, like you said, straightening their crown or having those moments to congratulate
fixing
them.
Their suit when they're in line, making sure their hair's not fuzzy. And you have to be there to support each other. It's not just about you.
Yeah. And that could be so enriching, on a deeper level than winning, which of course we're there to do our best. We're there to win or get the pro card, whatever. And we're not taking anything away from that. And at the same time, where you really grow both as an athlete, as a person, I think we definitely agree that that's where, the work on our mental, the work on how we're perceiving the whole process all the way up to the finish line. And no matter what the outcome is, like, how are we processing that at the end of the day?
I think like in our, I don't want to say failures, that I don't really think of it that way, but like when in our moments where we feel like we're failing is actually where we're growing. We're learning so much from that. And if we take it that way and actually grow from it, you'll just be a better athlete. You'll be a better person in every way. But it's when you just get stuck in that moment, like, I'm a failure, I'm not worth it, I can't do this. Well, you're going to believe what you tell yourself. So you have to change the way you talk, the way you think. Yeah, it's hard, but.
What is your advice on how athletes process feedback? Because I know you had mentioned that sometimes you get, some conflicting feedback and things like that. Like, how do you recommend people get feedback, and then how do you help them process whatever that feedback is?
I do recommend them that they get feedback, and it's for several reasons. For a long time, I was told not to get feedback. It didn't matter what the judges thought, but it does matter because they're judging you.
My first coach told me that too, and I learned.
Yeah, I'm like, So, I mean, I would do it sometimes anyway, but it can be hard to hear, sure. But they're telling you that because they want you to get better. They want you to go pro. They want you to be successful. And they're judging you by what you're standing next to. And so if other people have something better, they have that it factor, it's just not your time. But it could be eventually your time if you stay in the game. You've just got to do the things. Don't take it to heart. Don't take it personal. Don't have a panic attack and think you have to change everything, because ultimately that's not always the case either. But also it shows the judges that you respect them and that you're there because you want their feedback. You care. You appreciate them being there. So I think there's so many factors that go into it, but I do like to help them through that. Don't take it to heart. Yes, we can do some work. There's a lot of great athletes up there, but it's not the end. We'll just readjust and keep going. Just got to keep going, keep showing up.
Yeah, I think it's interesting when you talked about, it depends on who you're up there next to, because you might go in one lineup that is more muscular, and then, you might get the feedback, oh, you could use more muscle because next to everybody else, maybe you looked a little bit smaller, but then you might go to another and the other is true. Maybe people are a little bit smaller. And then, so it's very much because it is a comparison sport, and we can't control or even know what people are going to look like when they get there. Yeah. We have to just keep focusing on,
it's your journey, ultimately. Yeah. Like, it doesn't matter who's standing next to me. Honestly, half the time I don't even know when I'm up there. I'm like, I don't even know where I was on stage. I don't know who was around me. I have no idea because I'm not focusing on that. I'm doing what I do. Like, you just focus on you. If it doesn't happen that time, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. You just get to keep doing it. I mean, honestly, like, I don't think I would ever want to try to go pro again, but it was so much easier.
Yeah. It only gets harder.
It only gets harder. Yeah. So, I mean, I got to enjoy it for a really long time. So it took me a long time. But I tell the girls that too all the time. Like, just enjoy this.
I love the way you just framed that. Yeah. I got to enjoy that for a long time. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I see people that are on their journey to turning pro and like getting frustrated when they don't get it their very first time or their first 2 or 3 shows. And it's like, no, you get to continue this journey. I love when Greg will say, what are you going to do if you win? Compete. What are you going to do if you don't win? Compete. So
you're going to do it anyway.
Keep competing and keep having fun. And
once you go pro, it is a different world. It's so much harder. I like the hardness. I like it being hard. For me, I like the challenge, but it's just different. When you're here on national level circuit or the regional level, like, enjoy all that stage time you get better so that when you do turn pro, you don't look like a fish out of water. You got it. You know what you're doing. Because you see people that turn pro like that really quickly and their stage presence it's not the same. It's not as good. They have a lot more work to do.
Well, they also have a difficulty dealing with, and we've talked about this before, is they have difficulty dealing with loss. Yes. Because if your rise to the pro card is meteoric, you do one regional show, you go to a national, you get your pro card, that you have not experienced defeat. Yeah. And it goes to what you said, even you have to be a good loser before you become a good winner. Mm-hmm. And so I think that time in the NPC is really about perfecting your craft. Yep. and be a better amateur so that you can be a better pro. Mm-hmm. It's about building up that knowledge. And I mean, it's funny, we had the summit here a couple of weeks ago, and there was a couple of athletes that I know have just been so close, and they have had a difficult time dealing with that being close but not getting the pro card. And again, comes to the question you said, which is, what are you going to do if you don't win? What are you going to do if you win? You're going to compete. So focus on competing and less about the outcome of competing. And use this time now to hone your craft and to be, it ties in with what we were talking about a minute ago, which is if you want to be a pro, then perfect your craft. I mean, this is a weird sport where you can go to become a pro in 2 shows, right? It's a two show minimum to get your pro card, but are you going to be prepared for that next level? And everybody that gets their pro card, well, not everybody, but most people who get their pro card, they want to go to the Olympia. I mean, we get new athletes who've never stepped on stage. What do you want? What's your goal? I want to go to the Olympia. It's like, okay.
We're like, let's rewind that a little bit.
Yeah, we got to back that up.
Rewind.
That's a big goal.
and focus on that journey and making that journey meaningful for you and grow.
Yep. Yeah. I love that. I think that's so true. They want that quick, gratification. But for me, like, just the journey is gratifying. Like, I have learned so much about myself, who I am, what I'm capable of that I never, ever would have even imagined. How hard I can push myself, how hard I shouldn't push myself. But like, I've learned so much that I wouldn't take any of those years back to nothing. I appreciate every single one of them.
And you look at any other sport where there's professional athletes, right? You don't go to the NFL after, hey, I played one high school game and one college game and I'm ready for the pros. And I mean, there are outliers for sure, but that have gone. But even the outliers, they have played for hundreds of hours to get to that point of being a professional. And even when they go to be a pro, there's a maturation process. I was just thinking about some of the pro basketball players that have gone. LeBron James, who's just tearing it up now at 40 years old. And he went pro at 18 because he was a physical phenom and an outlier. But make no mistake, he still had to adjust to becoming a pro. And he still played so many hours to get to that pro level, but he's still consistently evolving and being a better pro.
Yeah. That's true.
So the other thing that pops in my head that really, I believe, has a strong effect on mental, and I'm curious your perspective and how you work with people on this, is social media.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm the first to say I suck at social media. I hate it. I hate posting. I shouldn't say hate. I do not like it because it has such a damaging effect on people. And I'll tell my girls to get off of it. Stay away from it. Don't even get on there. Don't scroll through things. Don't compare yourself. Because it can be damaging for your success in your future. I hate it.
Yeah, it's a hard one. It's a hard one to manage.
Because we have to have it for like our business, but like it's the last thing I think about because I'm more focused on my job and then my own journey that I don't feel like I want to get on there and post about all the time. Like I don't have the energy for it. My energy goes elsewhere. And so when I have girls that are constantly saying, well, so-and-so looks like this, well, so-and-so looks like that, get off of social media.
Yeah.
Turn it off. Step away from it for a week. You'll feel so much better.
Yeah. I think it's interesting because it's like on one side of things, it is a way to connect, which can be really good, or to encourage or share, that kind of thing. But I agree with you, like, especially when people get to that place where their mental is starting to, they're maybe overthinking and, they're in prep and they're working so hard, and it can, at that point, like really pull them completely out. And it's always funny to me when I'll have somebody competing and they get fixated on some specific athlete. Oh, this person's they're going to be there. They're in my class. Well, how tall are they? I think we're the same height.
Like all the research. Yeah. Like detectives.
And it's just so funny because it's like, you have no idea if that person even ends up making it to the show, or when they get there, are they going to be on point? Doesn't matter. That doesn't matter what they're.
But until they're standing next to you on stage anyway, it really doesn't matter.
Right. It doesn't matter. I mean, and it shouldn't even matter then, because as long as you're bringing your best and you're performing, what's going to happen.
And you want the other athletes to bring their best.
Absolutely.
Because you want to win when you're at their best and the other athletes are at your best. So it's like,
I don't want
it's a hollow victory, like win because you're the only one there or because nobody else was on point. Yeah.
No, I think that's awesome. I mean, I should probably put more effort into my own, my random like once a month posts are probably not the best, but honestly, like I just don't think about it. I just don't. I'm focused on...
You're being present in your...
Yeah, I'm being present in my life, which is so important to me now, probably more than ever. But, being able to like spend time with my husband after work, because it's a long day, being there when the kids have stuff, like that is far more important to me than posting on social media. And I mean, I go on and I'll read messages and repost stuff for my clients, but like for myself, like I just don't I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not important to me right now.
Yeah.
At one point in time it was.
Yeah, when Coach Nicole came, she was talking about a scroll hole. I was like, oh, I've never heard of that before. But that's all you know, where you kind of get sucked in.
Yes.
I will admit that I've gotten to that way with YouTube now because I'll watch a podcast or something, then it suggests other ones that are, in that same vein that you're interested in. And next thing you know, you're like
Squirrel.
3 podcasts later or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah.
My husband has a problem with social media. So he's really good about like shutting it down. So he had me change his password so he cannot even log in.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's like, because he gets in and he'll just for hours be like sucked in, won't even realize time's passed. And I don't get that way. I don't know. I have ADD, so
I have a 3 tile limit.
Oh.
Once I've hit 3 tiles,
That's
I do.
awesome.
Yeah. Not on YouTube, but YouTube's. I don't consider YouTube
Not on
social media.
Well, we did make an agreement that we would not bring phones to bed because that's an easy thing to do.
Yes, it's too easy.
Anyway, no, I was just
Some people uphold that better than others.
yeah. So
But,
I'm not as good on that as I can be. So there was definitely opportunity for me to learn.
always
You were,
pointing
come
at
on,
you.
yeah.
There's always room for improvement.
Everybody watching knows that you were throwing me under the bus. It's okay. I was thinking we were at the women's workshop in Florida with Sandy, and Sid Gillen was on, 8-time figure Olympian, was on the stage in a Q&A portion, and she was talking about how she shuts down. She totally does not open social media 2 weeks before a show.
Oh yeah.
And I do think
Smart.
Yeah, and I do think that, look, the beauty of social media, and I think we're primarily talking about Instagram, but I do think Facebook and
TikTok
there's others. The nice thing about, there are ways to mute people, and so you don't see their feed.
Yeah.
And if you know you're fixating on somebody, then mute the feed.
Yeah.
You can go back and unmute it and then see whatever you want to see. But if it's something that's getting in your head and it's not fulfilling you, then
Right. If
shut
it's
it
not
off.
feeding,
Yeah.
it's not feeding your a good positive mental, then protect yourself.
Yeah, you have to. Like if you're feeling like when you get on there, you're getting drained, defeated, you're feeling not great about yourself anymore. When you go in feeling pretty good, it's not worth it.
Could you imagine somebody going into a therapist and they say, doctor, and this is akin to the joke of a guy goes into a doctor and says, doctor, it hurts every time I raise my arm. And the doctor says, well, don't do that. And that's the cure, right? And I think about somebody going to a therapist saying, Doc, Dr. Henich, I don't know what's going on, but every time I go to social media, I just feel crappy. I just feel less than. I can't believe what all these people are doing. And the therapist says, well, turn it off. I mean, it's your choice to go on social media, right?
Yeah,
and it's just such a simple cure, but it's so hard it seems seemingly so hard to execute with people.
Yeah. I mean, I've had clients who have done like a social media detox.
A cleanse,
and they feel so much better.
Yep.
They're like different people. My daughter, I took her phone away for about probably 4 months when she was in high school because it was just things were not good for her mentally. She was a different kid.
Wow.
And she actually to this day will tell me how much she appreciated that.
Wow. Tough love.
So interesting.
Yeah.
Because it's that whole thing, like we don't even realize, we talk about, we don't even realize how much it's affecting us sometimes till you pull away and you're like, whoa, that was really
It's crazy.
Well, it's like
How
those
powerful.
it's like those things in our diet that we are taking. If you have a lactose intolerance, or you may not be allergic, but you may be having a reaction to it. But in little doses, you're experiencing that, but you get so used to it that you don't take it out. And social media is the same way.
Yeah.
Has a cumulative effect.
That's so true. Yeah.
So anything else you want to talk about? I know we're coming close to time.
Yeah.
You have something
Well, I
you
was
wanted
just
to
going to
ask.
go with this. So you talked about, when we were talking about how you shape and how you guide an athlete through this journey of mindset reframing or mindset building, I would say. So we're building the physique, but we're also building the mind. You talked about creating community through those subgroups that you create. You talk about the book club. You talked about mentally preparing for a show and getting used to losing and being a better loser. Then that will make you a better winner. You talked about social media. We just talked about that. Is there anything else that you do to shape an athlete's mindset as you're working with them? And I know every case is going to be a little bit different.
Yeah,
but
I was going to say case sensitive, but I think one of the biggest things I see with most of us is our relationship with food, and that's something that you can't necessarily teach, but you can at least help try and guide. So it just depends on the person. But when I have girls that I feel like are spinning out of control, it's almost like because they feel like I'm controlling their food in a way. So they don't want to do what I want them to do. They want to rebel a little bit. I don't know if that's really what it is, but it's just that feeling of control. They feel out of control because I'm controlling it. So sometimes I'll initiate like some intuitive eating days just to help them get back on track mentally with like listening to their body. I think you get to a point where it's like you no longer feel hunger cues. You don't know what anything is anymore because you're just you're all over the place. Mm-hmm. And so getting back in touch, listening to your body, listening for those hunger cues, then reacting instead of just reacting. So that's something that I really do think it's important for people to learn, because when you're on a meal plan, you don't have that freedom. But even on macros, I feel like they can start feeling like they don't have any freedom, which is
sure.
It happens every time, all the time.
Yeah.
So being able to teach them like food is not the enemy. There's no such thing as bad food. There's foods that are better, that you can see better results quicker, and stop putting like the bad good on things. Don't label it, and just listen to your body.
Right. I love that, because then the rebellion thing. If it's bad, oh, I'm doing something bad.
I know, I'm so naughty. And then they're like, oh my gosh, what did I do? Yeah. But ultimately, like, it's just food. Just food.
Yeah. I do think also different people need a different amount of freedom during different points in their journey and things like that. So I love that. I love that you're paying attention to what does this person need right now?
Yeah.
And it's not always getting more strict, pushing forward. Sometimes it's letting the foot off the gas, letting them breathe a little bit, and then they're excited to tighten things back up again.
I agree. They have to learn their own way. Everyone learns differently. So some people are so good at rigid, just never change anything. This is they're just rigid, but then others, I mean, I'm pretty good at that. But yeah, some people they kind of shut down after a while. And you can tell they just need a reset. They need a break. Yeah. So I think it's just like you said in the beginning, it's meeting your patients. It does feel like patients sometimes. Meeting your clients where they're at, just, coming to them with wherever they're at, not trying to get them to come up to you all the time.
Are there any other go-to approaches that you use that are pretty common?
I mean, I don't know if I have like special approaches. I feel like we're all the same, but I really listen to my clients. Like, you can tell in their check-ins, like, how are they feeling? I can tell when something's off pretty quickly, even if they don't tell me. And so just diving in, asking deeper questions, trying to get answers from them, because you can't help them if you don't know what's going on.
Right.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, though, because I do think that there are coaching styles out there where it's very much just, okay, here's your food, here's your workout, and there's not that addressing the mental side of things. And we're whole human beings, you can't ignore one piece. And we see this. I mean, I love this example where I'll have somebody, they're prepping for a show, but they're the angst about the show. Am I going to be ready? And and it's like the body's not responding. And, and then finally, I'll go, you know what? I think maybe we're going to push our show date out. Give us a little bit of room to breathe, a little bit of space. And, now all of a sudden, like, that pressure's off and the body just starts to respond and everything. Have you seen that happen?
Yes, it's insane, but it's true. I feel like people handle pressure differently. Some people thrive on it. Others just, their body, they're just going to shut down because they need to know everything. They want to know the answers for everything already. And cortisol goes up, and there's a lot of things that happen to our bodies with stress. So I think it's important that you just meet them where they're at.
Yeah. 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 So, I mean, I think that's good advice for people when they're thinking about hiring a coach. Like, is that coach, are they going to also address those mental aspects? And then I think it's also on the other side of things, if you're a client of a coach who is like yourself and really wanting to make sure that you're in tune and addressing those things, be open and share.
Yeah.
Because I do think sometimes people hold things too close to the vest. And then how can we support them if we don't know they're going through something difficult?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I'm in therapy for a reason. I mean, even it helps me with my job, honestly, because I can bounce things off my therapist that I don't even see, or maybe I don't understand, why am I reacting this way? Why do I feel this way? And it just helps me be a better coach too. So it just comes full circle.
Dig a little deeper.
Yeah, you have to.
We didn't cover this, but we did talk about this off cameras or off whatever microphone. That part of the reason that you focus so much on mindset and why it's so important to you is that you wanted to, and I don't mean to put words in your mouth, but you can fix this if I mess it up. You want to provide your athletes with an experience that you were lacking through what you were receiving. as an athlete. And I think that's a great motivator. I don't know if there's more to say on that, but I like that as something to kind of wrap up this episode. If there's more on that you want to.
Yeah, I mean, when you've had several different experiences and you don't feel like you're part of something. You don't feel like it's empowering you or making you want to be better. You just kind of feel stuck. For me, like, I don't ever want my clients to feel like that. I would rather them tell me. I was afraid to tell some coaches things. Like, I was afraid they were going to be mad at me or respond negatively, and I didn't say anything. I mean, check-ins were like 2 words. Responses were 2 words. It was never like a full check-in. Like, I really check in with my girls. And I think it's important that we have every piece of the puzzle, because if we don't have parts of it, the puzzle's not going to come together. And we might have to dig a little bit, but I wish people would have dug with me, And so I think it's so important to have that relationship with your client. I always tell them, I feel like I'm online dating all of them. It's like,
That's
we're
cute.
online dating. Then when we actually meet each other, it's like, I feel like I already know them because it's been, however long. But that's kind of how I look at it. You gotta get to know them. You have to know who they are, what they love, what they don't love. It's a relationship. So
That's beautiful. Yeah, I love that.
Well, we want people to be able to be in this for the long haul, and if
not just for the minute.
If they're not enjoying the process or aren't getting something out of it more than just a trophy, then they're probably not going to want to do it for very long either.
And it's not for everybody, honestly. Like, there's people who want to do it so bad they do it, and they're like, I hated it. I never want to do it again.
That's okay too.
It's great. Yeah, you did it. You tried. You did your best, and we'll move on. But I just think it has to be a good experience for them too.
Yeah, absolutely.
You want to do the checkout word?
Oh, I feel empowered.
All right.
Yeah.
I like
Love that.
Those are good. Those are good words.
Yes. I loved this episode. I think it's so important. There's not enough that can be said about how important this mental aspect is in bringing everything together. And I know that you're so great in this space, and I appreciate you, being here, being vulnerable, and sharing so much. So thank you.
Well, thank you for making it an open space and a good environment to do so.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it.
Tell people how to get a hold of Coach Kerryne.
Instagram is Kerryne Henich _IFBB Pro.
Are you going to spell it?
KerryneHenich. Or Fitbody Fusion's website. You can reach me there.
Yeah. Fill out the application and do
Request
a consultation.
Me.
Yes.
Yeah, request
And
me.
going back to the challenges that we put out to you is go into that mirror, put that phone on selfie mode, and just tell yourself that you are enough. And for those of you that really want to be overachievers, do it in a public place.
Yes.
And
Love that.
really own the fact that you are enough. And then the other challenge we put out to everybody is when you are talking to yourself, check yourself against the standard, which is, would you tell a loved one what you are now telling yourself about yourself? So those were the 2 challenges that we had today.
Are you going to do the challenge in public?
I'll do it right now. Okay, we're just going to
Yeah,
do it
practice
because
makes
I'm in
preach.
public. Okay. And there I'm in selfie mode. And Greg, I love you and you are enough.
Love it.
Okay, there we go.
Good job.
Done.
Love it.
And if you want to feel empowered, then you can like, comment, subscribe, and leave your reviews for this channel so that we can provide you with this kind of content. And Coach Kerryne, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank
And
you.
we are blessed to have you in this family, and we love you. We choose you every day. Just always remember that. And everybody else, remember the 3 B's.
Be good to yourself.
Be good to each other and be safe. Take care.
Thank you for tuning in to Fitbody Lifestyle. We hope today's episode has left you feeling motivated and equipped to tackle your fitness goals, business challenges, and the daily dance of life. Remember to value progress over perfection. Life's tough enough alone. Find the chosen family around you to help you along the way.
If you enjoyed today's episode, we'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe and leave us a review on your favorite streaming platform. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Fitbody Fusion.